So that's today I'm going to show you how you can create this kind of traits inside Blender, and I'm going to show you how you can create this photorealistic trace for free, and you don't have to model them or anything. We're going to use a website called 3D Warehouse, which has a bunch of trees, but we might have to adjust them so that they will look good inside Blender. And I'm going to show you how you can achieve that. So the first thing that we have to do is just install an add-on called Sketchfab Importer, which you'll find the link in the description below. So to install, just as any other add-on, go to Edit and then go to Preferences, and then go to Add-ons and then select this install. After you have downloaded a zip file, which you'll find the link in the description below, just select that zip file and select this install add-on. It will be installed. After that, what you have to do is you can type sketch, you can type this. In your case, you don't have to type it. It will appear right here. Just all you have to do is just activate it. After you have activated that, just select right here and then select this Save Preferences. It will be saved. In order to see if the add-on is working properly, what you can do is go to File and then go to Import, and you will see this Import SketchUp scene.escape. So if you see this, it's probably working correctly. So that's what you have to do. If not, maybe you might have to use the earlier versions of Blender. Maybe just try it with Blender 3.0 and just if it works, it will be good. If it's not, just upgrade it or downgrade the Blender version that you're using. So that's what you have to do. After that, you have to download a bunch of trees from 3D Warehouse, which I'll place the link in the description below. So these are the trees that that I have found to be good. This site has a lot of trees, but most of them are not good, so you might have to search just a little bit to find really good trees. So after you have downloaded them, what you can do is just after you have opened Blade file, just press A, select everything, press X and delete. After you have done that, go to File and then go to Import, and then go to Import SketchUp Scene. After you have done that, what you can do is just drag this one and then drop it right here. Just after that, I'm just going to select this Import SKP. Now it's going to import. As you can see, this is the imported one. So let me code this AV material preview to see what we have got. As you can see, this is what we get. And the tree, it does not look bad, right? It's not that bad. So the first thing that we have to do is let us, as you can see, we have an alpha, the black part. We have to delete that. So let us start adjusting the tree. So let me select this one. I think everything is joined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap like this. I will go inside of the edit mode. After this, what I'm going to go to material properties. We have two materials. The first one is the leaf. If I select this preview, as you can see, this is the leaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click it and rename it as leaf. In the second ones, I'm going to rename it as trunk. So after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the trunk, and I'm going to select outside so that the selection will disappear. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit select. When I do that, the trunk is going to be selected. As you can see, everything has been selected. After that, I'm going to press P, and then I'm going to press selection. When I do that, now this one and this one has been a different objects. So the reason that I have done that is so that I will apply a subdivision modifier to this trunk. As you can see, it's really low poly. If I make this one shade flat, as you can see, we can see the edges. This will appear even though you have used shade smooth. It will appear in the render in the final render. So what I've done is I just applied the subdivision surface, and then I have used the number 2, and then after that I have applied it. Now we have more polygons. After this, what you can do is you can just select this one again. As you can see, just select this one, hold on shift and select this one. You can join them back again. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go to this material properties, select the leaf. After I've done that, you can go to this viewport display. I'm going to use alpha hashed for both of them. This will be useful when we are inside EV. So the reason for that is if I go to this shader right there to where the material, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, press G, and to move it right here, I'm going to plug the alpha to the alpha right here. When I do that, as you can see, now we can see our tree clearly. The reason for that is if this was its original opaque, as you can see, you can see the black part. So to see the alpha, destroyed, or in order not to see the black part, what you can do is just use alpha hashed and it will correct it as if you are inside circles. So this is what you can do. And the next thing that we are going to do is for the leaf. As you can see, uh, the leaf looks good, but we need to have some kind of bump reflections. We need to have some kind of translucency. So we're going to do that. But to do that, I think we need to switch to cycle so that we can see what we're doing clearly. So I have a switch to cycles, and in the render properties, I'm going to change this to GPU, and then I'm going to activate this denoise. And after that, in order for to have a light, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use any HDR. I'm going to use the built-in HDR inside Eevee. So I'm going to deactivate scene wallet. You can see this is an HDR for Eevee. So after this, let us first give it some kind of translucency. So to do that, I'm going to press Shift A and then add translucent, and I'm going to place it right here. I'm going to plug this one in the color, and after that I'm going to mix this one in this one. To mix that, I'm going to use an add shader. So I'm going to press Shift A and then type in the search tab add. Then I'm going to place this one right here and plug the translucent right there. When I do that, as you can see, now our trees is translucent. It's passing through some kind of light. So if you can see, this is the change that we are having. We are having a drastic change, right? It's looking good already. So the next thing that we can do is maybe we can control the translucency. To do that, I'm going to press Shift A and then add an RGB curves and then plug it right here. So I'm going to Control Shift click this one. So what I'm going to do is we can, make this one brighter like this. If I make it brighter, for example, Control Shift click this one, as you can see, we're going to have more translucency. And if I make it like this, we're going to have less translucency, right? So you get the point. So maybe we can, play with the curves like this, create an interesting curves. So if I Control Shift click this one, now as you can see, if I press M to mute it, this is the original one. Now we're creating some kind of interesting, variation inside the temp like this, as you can see. Like this. If I press M, as you can see, this is more like flat, but this one, it has more dynamics to it. So if I Control Shift click this one, as you can see, this might be our result. So if I press M to see the change, we have a really subtle change, but you get the point, right? I can also use hue saturation, and then maybe decrease the value so that I can decrease the translucency. I don't think, the saturation will. I don't think the saturation look good. As you can see, hue and saturation. If the color of the translucency is changing, as you can see, since this is also plugged inside the color, we'll have some change. So I think this is good for now. The next thing that we are going to do is let us give this a bump, some kind of bump, right? It's flat. So to do that, I'm going to press Shift A and then add a bump mode like this. And then I'm going to plug this one to the normal like this. And I'm going to plug this one to the height. Well, now we have a bump, but the bump is too high. So I want the bump to be an uncolored data. So I'm going to press Shift A and then I'm going to add a color ramp. And I'm going to Control Shift click this one. So this is my bump. As you can see, they can navigate like this. So I can control my bump like this. So if I make it, for example, black, and let us see the change that we have, as you can see, it's going to be more bumpy. The black part is more bumpy, and the white part, it's not so much, right? So when we're controlling, if you want this to be more bumpy, you can increase the black part, or you can make it more contrasty. Just like this. Yeah, so if I Control Shift this one, and also I need to decrease the distance 0.05 maybe 0.02 would be good, since this is not for the close-up shot. So if I let's leave this as it is like this. And the next one is I'm going to let this one to the roughness. Yeah, to the roughness. Maybe let me decrease. Maybe let me decrease this one. What I'm going to do is maybe let me duplicate this one and create a different map for the roughness so that I can control them differently with the bump map respect to the bump map. So I'm going to control shift click this one. Maybe place this one like this. Maybe let us see what we're getting. I think this is a bit harsh, the bump. Maybe if I make it more effective with that, how? Maybe not. Wait for it. Yeah, let me decrease the reflectivity. Yeah, I think this is good since we're not going to use it for super close-up shot. For super close-up shot, we might need to have a really better textures and better modeling. But I think this is good. I think this is good. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create some kind of variations among the hue and the value or the brightness and the darkness of the leaves since every leaf or every tree is not going to be similar. We need to create that change. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this one, press Alt D and then X. As you can see, if I press Alt D and then X, everything is similar. So we need to have some kind of change. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this shader editor and I'm going to press Shift A, then add a object info node like this, and then let me drag this to right here, and then maybe hold on Shift in them by using your right cursor, just drag it like this, and it will give you a pivot point. And then I'm going to maybe move this white like so that I can work properly. And after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, press Shift D to duplicate it, and then I'm going to plug this one to the value, or maybe to the group for the first. Let us create a color change inside the hue, and then after this, I'm going to plug this one to the color, and then I'm going to just plug this one right here just to demonstrate. So as you can see when I do that, so as you can see when I do that, we're having some kind of color change. So that's what we want, but we don't need this much color change. So to fix that, what we are going to do is we're going to introduce a color ramp. I'm going to press it and then add a color ramp. For example, if I make this 2 points similar, let me make this one black. As you can see, the color has changed, but everything is similar. So that's what we want. So we don't want the colors to be that much different from each other. So maybe if I make it like this, we're having a mild change. Maybe something like that. We can adjust things later. And the next thing is I have to plug this one right here so that this also will be applied in the translucency. As you can see, our result is better than the previous one. So what I'm going to do is let me go right here and maybe maybe it's not visible right now. Maybe if when we change the color to green, yeah, I think we have some kind of change, right? So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one and I'm going to press add a matte node, and I'm going to plug this one right here. As you can see, when I do that, everything is green, right? Everything is working properly, but this is too green. So just let me just adjust this. Hold on Shift Tab, just this. Maybe something like this. Maybe I need to make things a little bit darker, maybe. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, press Shift D, and then I'm going to plug this one to the value. And then I'm going to plug this one right here so that I can also have a randomness in the value. So as you can, when I make it to 0, for example, it's going to be dark. For example, if I unplug this one so that I can see the change in the hues, as you can see, when it's 1, we don't see. Let me add a clamp. Yeah, so that if I don't add clamp, as you can see, it's going to be a lot brighter. So I don't want the value to go up above 1. So 1 is the maximum that we don't have any value change. But if I decrease it, as you can see, we're having some kind of value difference between them. Or not that much. Maybe I need to make this one a little bit brighter so that we have a different. So if I make it darker, yeah, I think yeah, this one is darker. Yeah, we are having some change, but then not that much. So let me make this one. I think this one is the darker. Is this one? Yeah. Maybe if I mute this one, I think this is good. We're having some kind of change, as you can see. So if I plug this one again in the hue, maybe let me. I think this one is good, right? The coloring is good. So just plug this one, just to make it as exact as close to as possible to the first one. So guys, now we are having color change and value change. So that's what we want. So after this, the next thing that we are going to do is maybe give some of the elements some kind of value. Maybe for example for the color, maybe if you want to adjust it using numbers. So to do that, I'm going to add a math node, and then I'm going to plug this one right here, and then let me navigate just to see. So I'm going to make this one to multiply. So as you can see now, I'm multiplying it by 0.5. So if I make this to 0, I think it's going to be reflective. And if I make this to 1, it's going to be rough, not that much reflective. So if I control shift click this one to see, this is when it's 1 and this is when it's 0. As you can see, when it's 0, it's everything is black. And when it's 1, everything is not that much reflective, right? So this is what we want. Maybe in the value of 1, maybe if it needs to be that much rough, maybe I can just make this one like this, so that it will be more white. If I make it 0.5 and control shift click this one, maybe as you can see, maybe this might be better than the previous one, so that yeah, I think this is good. And the next thing after this that I want to do is maybe if I want to add a hue saturation mode, just so that I can control it separately. So if I just plug this one to right here, for example, if I want this to be desaturated, I can use like this. As you can see, if I want to change the value, I can just change this like this. As you can see, the saturation, the hue. So I can use this. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make things very simpler so that we can control the settings much easier. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A, then I'm going to press Ctrl G to group it. Now it has been grouped. If we hit tab, it will go outside of the group, as you can see. And if you select it and hit tab, it will go inside of the group. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just drag this one like this, and then go to group. So now we have something like this. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create some kind of inputs so that we can control the values that we have here, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to press plus. So the first thing that I want to control is the hue, the saturation in the value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this one hue. Maybe it's hue. And the initial is maybe 0, and the max is 1, and the default is 0.5. I want the default to be 0.5 since the hue is 0.5. So what I'm going to do is when I created hue, as you can see, we have a property that's called hue appearing here. So if I plug this one to the hue right here, and if I get outside of the edit mode, as you can see, now we have a value called hue, but it's not properly placing the default. So I'm going to use 0.5. Now we have something like this. Again, go inside of the edit mode and inside the group in the inputs, add plus in type saturation. Saturation. And then after this, I'm going to hit 0 for the minimum, then 1 for the maximum, and maybe use the saturation 1 for the default, but it's not going to apply this one. So maybe you don't have to order that one. So after this, it is the saturation, and then just repeat the same process. Value, and then make the final one, the 0. Maybe you can make this to 2. The reason that you have to control this one is, for example, if I plug this one to the value and hit tab to get outside of the group, as you can see now we have the saturation double. So if I drag this one like this, as you can see, when I'm dragging, it won't go above 2 and it won't go below 0. And if I drag this one, it won't go above 1. But if you don't assign those numbers, if you drag it, it will go to any number that you have dragged it. But when you assign those numbers, it will be limited. In case if you want, for example, the saturation to be 10, you can just type 10 and the saturation will be 10. If you want the value to be 20, the value will be 20, right? So you get the. So I'm just going to make this one to 1. Hit tab to get inside of the group. So by using this method, just let us give everything this inputs. So the next thing that I'm going to do is for the hue. So I'm going to hit plus and then type, maybe I don't need this one. Maybe value variation, and I'm going to plug this one to this one, since this will help us vary the value. So I'm going to press 1 and 0 and then press 1. Maybe the next thing that what I need is maybe for this factor, if I don't want, for example, if I make this one like this, any variation won't be applied. So maybe I can use variation factor, just variation factor. I can just name it like that. Maybe use the 0 and then use this one, and I can plug this one right here. As you can see, now I have something like this. And also I can control the roughness. So I'm going to hit plus, and then use 0 and then this one. Sorry, this one. Roughness. Yep, roughness. And then plug the roughness to this one. Yeah, maybe the default is 0.5, but it's not going to work. I don't know why it's not going to work. Yeah, and then next thing maybe the bump and the strength. So hit plus and then rename it bump string is the first one, and the second one is sorry, bump strength. Maybe this one, this, and make this 0 and this 1, and then plug it in the string. And then again hit plus. This one is bump distance, ds bump distance. Yep, this 0 and then this 1. So I think we have adjusted everything. So if I get outside of the edit mode, as you can see, we have this controls, right? We have this one. So I can just correct everything. Value variations, maybe it was just increased like this until you have something that satisfies you for a variation. Okay, I don't think I have adjusted the value variation. Yeah, value variation, it has to be 1. So hit tab to get outside of the edit mode, and just value factor has to be 1 so that we can see what we're doing. Value saturation here, yeah, value variations. Just don't make it 0. If you make it 0, everything is going to be black. Something like this will be good. We can change the hue like this. And then on the roughness, it was like 0.4 or something, bump strength, this 0.4, and this one 0.01. It was like this. And I can hit tab again, and I can also add this this settings, right? For example, I can just hit plus and then add specularity, or just specular. I can just name that and hit 0 on this one, and then plug this, the one that I've created. Yeah, this one, the specular. I think I have messed up something right here. I think maybe I have not plugged the bump distance properly. So just bump distance. Yep, bump distance should be right here. Yeah, I've already plugged the specular. You can, as I've said earlier, you can just create another compose. But for now, I think this is enough. So by using this, you can control everything. So the next thing that I'm going to do is maybe sometimes after you have created this kind of controlling methods, you don't want to get inside of the, I mean the shader. Maybe if you want to control it right here, as you can see in the surface, there's nothing. So if we want this to be previewed right here, the first thing that we have to do is just get inside of the edit mode. And I'm going to delete this material output. I'm going to hit X, and I'm going to create an output. So I'm going to hit plus, and then maybe I can rename it this just shader. Then after this, if I hit tab, I will have this shader, and then after it, I'm going to press Shift A and then add material output. And then after this, I can plug this one to the surface like this, but it's not where nothing is happening. The reason for that is I have plugged this one to the shader like this. Even if after I have plugged it, it's not working. The reason for that is we have to change the type. So I have to change this one to shader. When I do that, now it's working. Now after I have done that, as you can see, now we can see everything clearly. Now we don't have to we don't have to control them by going to shader editor. This can be anywhere. Just you can just control this one. So by using this method, just what I have to do is just create the setting for this strong. The next thing that you can do is you can just select it, and then you can right click, or just go to this outliner, just right click and then select this and mark as an asset. Now this has been an asset. So if I go to this asset browser, now this and then change this one to from old to current file. Now and then after this, I can just drag and drop it like this, just drag and drop it. As you can see, now we're having a lot of views. Maybe if you don't want the variation factor to be this much, you can just make it like this if you don't want that much variation. So I guess the next thing that you have to do is just import a bunch of trees and create an asset so that it will be good when we're working with anything that has a lot of trees. So that's what I did. I just have a bunch of assets, as you can see. You can see that I have created. As you can see, all of them are from 3D warehouse and they're free. You don't have to pay anything for them. So this is mostly what I use. In case if you're wondering how I created this thumbnail, so as you can see that thumbnails are pretty realistic than the previous one. If I just use this one, the comment file, as you can see, just previewing the viewport. So what I have done is if I go to trees, if you click this one, if you press N, as you can see, you can have this preview. So just all I have to do is just select this folder. The reason that I'm not, it won't select this, it won't be able, you won't be able to select this. This is not the current file. So what I can do is just go to this current file. I can select this one. So as you can see now, we can select this folder icon. We can change the icon, but we don't have any image corresponding to this one. So what you can do is just select this one, hit slash numpads so that it will be isolated. After this, just zoom in like this. Maybe delete and maybe just if you don't want to see the background, just maybe make it something like this. And then what you can do is just make it something like this, and you can just type snipping tool, just snip it like this, and then click save, and then save the image. After you have saved it, after you have saved the image, what you can do is just click this folder icon and just select that image. Just for every tree that you do, just give it a specific image and just apply the image right here. In that case, you have a custom thumbnail like what I have done here. So I guess this is all for today. I hope you have learned something from this tutorial. If you're interested, you can support me on my Patreon. That's a great way to support me so I can make videos like this in the future. And see you in the next tutorial.